All right, real quick before we dive in here, if you can just do me a favor, right here in the YouTube video description is my TCGPlayer link right here. If you just click that, it takes you to TCGPlayer. Help support me by buying the singles you would already be buying. What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here. So today I really just wanted to take a moment. Of course, you know the ban list dropped. That was live. Shout out anyone who showed up for the live stream. I greatly appreciate that. I woke up at 2:30 a.m. To do that, so I appreciate y'all hanging out with me as I was tirelessly rambling. I'm still a little tired. I'm sure you can hear it. But today we're going to talk about cards that have spiked, my thoughts on them, if you should be picking these up, where I think they'll fall, and just some overall, I think, good knowledge. Normally in this, I would have a lot of cards I'm like, I think these are good buys. I don't think there's anything that's a great buy right now besides one card. Y'all already probably know what that is. But to kick things off, I did just want to revisit this. I haven't talked about this in a while. It's the Luffy from the PSA magazine. And so it went down a lot. Congrats if you copped around here. I think I covered it around here and said I predicted it would go like somewhere in this like 150, 100-ish range. And it was there for a decent bit. But now it is slowly making its way back up there and seeing sales at about 180, which is more than you pay for the subscription. So huge W on PSA's part. It's actually a really strong move in my opinion. How do I feel about this card? I think Purple Luffy gets better, and it'll be interesting to see. I actually have no idea where my Luffy is, so that's amazing. But those are my problems, and I will figure those out. But yeah, I think this card's worth having. I think this is like a piece of One Piece history. If One Piece ages well, I think this ages well. I mean, I don't love this price. A lot of people didn't sign up for the subscription just because they were ambitiously waiting for around here when you could buy it for that, and there were a couple items sold for below the subscription price. But now it's above the subscription price. So it aged very well so far. I think this card just, with the ban list, Purple Luffy has potential, and all the new Purple Luffy cards. So we'll see what happens if BP Luffy takes. I think it's RP Luffy that's just the better Luffy. I digress. We will see. I think it's a card to keep your eyes on, and that you might just want to add to your collection if you find one on sale in like a Facebook group. Or something like that for like 150. I think it's a solid comp. Onward, though, let's talk about Reiju. If you follow me on X, you know I've been tweeting about Reiju nonstop. And look, it's almost like y'all knew she was tier 0, Because all of a sudden, you ban one leader, and this card is $80. This card was $40 yesterday. $40 yesterday. I think I mentioned this during the live stream. This card was $40. And boom. And boom. Sales in the 85s. Someone paid $100 for Reiju. Consistent 70 sales. Reiju is arguably tier 0, and it cascades, This one up a little bit. I would not buy this just because Premium Reprint Booster is 3 months away-ish. Reiju's in it. Both Reiju. Same here. Regular Reiju went up a little bit as well. She was about like 4, but then, of course, you can see everybody's loading up. Everybody's loading up. Insane amount of sales. It's almost like y'all knew Reiju was tier 0. You can't play this in law. But I digress. A lot of it was memes, truthfully. A lot of it was memes. But I do think this card should have been hit. And I think there's a world where we see this card get hit this next go-around in OP09. But, I think Bandai overall, I understand the direction that they took. I understand the execution. You don't want to set a precedent of a lot of cards being banned. You don't want to set a precedent. Like, whenever they ban a leader, they've been like, okay, we're going to make a new leader to, fill the gap. So they really want to, correct their homework type deal. And I respect that. I can understand the thought process behind it as well. So I know why we have this. But yeah, I think Reiju is going to be a problem. Except maybe RP Luffy is just better because they're just Conqueror Hockey Shanks everybody. So with that, of course, we got IchG. And this card was $4, by the way. When was this card $4? Maybe I'm just a liar. Oh, here it was, $4. It was $4 in this area. This card had sold for $4 at a period. I'm not crazy. Now it's $30 and tons of sales. Not tons of sales, but more than enough sales at this price for this to be something outrageous. But you know, it is what it is. It's almost like you all knew Reiju was tier 0 because guess what? Another Reiju card, $15, $36. Sales at 38, 20, 20, 20. Like, it's like you all knew. I would not buy Porsche, by the way. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. A lot of this in the market is a lot of heat, a lot of aggressive buying. Shout out anyone who buys cards with the link in the YouTube video description. And shout out anyone who hits that subscribe button right now for future One Piece content. Y'all the goats. But yeah, this card's absolutely, like, I mean, it can search itself. This card is just a phenomenal evergreen access to an engine. So I would say it's really good, you know. But yeah, Porsche, something to keep your eyes on if you have it. I would unload this expeditiously. I would get rid of this so fast. Granted, it's going to be useful for sure, especially if we get the list in OP08. I think it's a solid card to have, but it's probably going to get reprinted. And I don't love it at this price, you know. That's just me, though. And then, of course, Big Gex, Big Gecko Moria. I mentioned this in my last video, pre-ban list, if y'all wanted to take a chance on these. This one is a 0 seller, so everything's 80. They've been selling at 80. It was 40. I was like, you know, it's like this card, I think, has the most potential for, like, you know, a risk and reward. If it gets banned, it's worthless. If it doesn't, you know, it goes right back up because it just trailed down and then boom, right back up. Again, a lot of the attention is here, but a ton of sales. You know, a lot of it in the 60 level. 45 is buying up the inventory that was already there. This will cool off. I wouldn't touch Alt Gecko. If I had my Alt Geckos, I don't own Alt Geckos, but if I did, I'd be looking to get rid of these. Same here. I think this price stays there. I mean, this card was $7. I looked it up because I pulled an extra one, and I was sad. I'm like, why is this card $7? But this is more appropriate. I think these just hold strong. Again, though, if you have these, premium reprint booster is 3 months away. If you have an extra playset and you're like, I'm not switching between these decks within the next 3 months, I would get rid of this. The one that I pulled is 100% going to my locals this Friday. Now, on that, of course, the Gecko engine that lets you go absolutely Hina bananas. Sabo in Black Yellow Luffy might be the only thing that can stop Reiju, so we might have to get on the Sabo train. But yeah, this card is not reprinted in Premium Reprint Booster. I think this is a phenomenal buy. I think it's a phenomenal buy. You can kind of already see it was trailing down a bit. He did hit 30, like 35-ish, and then tons of sales today, like 20 or 30. I think this card's underappreciated. Everybody who needs this card pretty much has it, but anyone who's rotating decks, pretty much the people who are buying these. Same with this alt. Like, I'm probably gonna pick up an alt with my store credit at locals this week, just because I think, you know, I think it's a solid card to have. If I can, I think they might have the special one of this. I might even just try to pick up another one of those because I already own one. But yeah, and then of course, if that list takes effect in OP08, we see Blue be astronaut. I mean, we saw Dofi in top 4 of the CS finals for Tokyo. Made it to top 4. And Jinbe is a card that carries that in the matchup. You know, a lot of people are, you know, I've been screaming Jinbe from the rooftops just because once Jinbe is Cavendish, you guys can give me my flowers and be like, hey, you know, Vampyr Gaming told me to buy this. It was $2. Now it's $10, whatever it may be. Not financial advice, but just that way when that happens, hey, like I told you so. I don't see this card going down, you know, and the structure decks are over 3 months away, so there's a lot of time and build up between then, and then stock's gonna dry up a little bit, you know, and these slowly just make their way up as less people are opening it. You know, we get into, because we'll be halfway through the new set, and Luffy isn't phenomenal then, but once the new deck comes out, those new cards are kind of crazy. Same thing here. I bought an alt as soon as the ban list was announced, because I was like, I already own one. I figured I would own two. I think this card ages very well. Again, it's not reprinted in the deck, so it'll be the only card not reprinted. So value is going to want to transfer, in my opinion, and move to somewhere else. So as those cards go down in price, money's going to want to go somewhere else. And I think that's here, because I'm pretty sure Mihawk and the Gecko are both reprinted in there, so you get both of those. Mihawk's kind of expensive, like this Gecko, not this one particularly, but this is a store championship one, and I did just want to touch on this because this card is $50 and it's been actually expensive for a while, and like it instantly goes up to 60. These cards are some of my favorites. They were the first store championship. I also have the Luffy. I think he's just slightly underappreciated. But yeah, this card is $50, and on that, I did want to touch on another blue card that's just kind of expensive because it's the max rarity option. Not a lot of sales, but consistent enough at the 40 area, with listings in the 45 on this Mihawk from Nats. I think this would. I bought some of these at 25. I think I bought 3 of them. 2 of them are lightly played, but I think this was just a huge card. Because it is just so good and it looks so nice. So I'm glad I picked those up. I'll probably, if this goes up anymore, or Mihawk takes, not Mihawk, but or Luffy takes off, I'm probably getting rid of my lightly played ones, just because I don't need them and I'd rather have the value and put it into something else. And then of course I wanted to mention this, Eustace Captain Kidd. So this card was about $1 or $2, but it's slowly creeping up, which I found interesting because there are sales like happening semi-regularly, and it's just slowly drying up. These 3 brother decks, because if you look, Law, this is the best card, and the deck is $5. You know, nobody's like opening these decks because there wasn't anything special with them, just these cards. And I think slowly but surely the value is going to like force it up to be worth like opening the decks. The decks are just super cool, but yeah, I found this really interesting when I was just browsing around, so I did just want to take a second to mention that. And then we have Judge, of course. I kind of put Judge at the end, right? You know, I started off with the Reiju, but I really wanted to take a step back, focus on some value in the content, and then go, you know, here's Judge. Judge hasn't moved a lot, you know. Sitting at about 13, 14, I think it moved the least. I think it's very powerful. This is Reiju's Moria on steroids, you know. If you saw here's the meme. And then, yeah, so this is just, it's really good. You know, you play Judge. You used to not be able to do anything on 6 if you wanted to play Judge, but because of Chopper, you can do a lot on 6. And just go to 8, play Judge, and then just boom, go absolutely Hina bananas. So, big fan, you know. I think I pulled an alt of this. I might have. I'm probably just looking to chuck that for some store credit. But yeah, and then another card I want to mention. This is a little bit different, but I think it's like the most underappreciated. I might grab another one of these. I got a playset of this. I have a playset of the finalist jet pistols, but for $15, I think if red is ever relevant again with this card specifically, this is one of the coolest ones by far. And like, it's just the finalist flavor text, you know, but at 15, I like it. I don't think it, you know, it adds much. I don't think people super care. I think the regular promo is like $9. So it's not a huge difference, and it's just because of that gap that I really like this. And then just another card, I just wanted to shed some light on this. I did not realize that this card was that cheap now. You know, of course, and it's been that way for a good minute, 2 weeks-ish maybe. Of course, less people are playing Hina. The structure decks have also been reprinted, which helped this value go down. But this is a foil version of the card. They do warp like no other. Straight up, they will warp. So I don't know if I recommend picking this up, but there's one here for really cheap. Rest are still kind of up there, but like nobody's. Oh, you know what? Yeah, a lot of people bought this. Where I was going with this though is because Stage is gone, this might find its way into Lucci. we might be on that Rebecca Hina Lucci train again. And since we can't do stage and you can still do meaningful minus and play a Lucci or even Spanding and do other meaningful minus. So I just wanted to get this on your radars. It's about 7. Yeah, there's not an insane amount, but something interesting. And then on that too, possibly something that comes up. Soap Sheep has kind of made its way in to the meta before. You can see, of course, some other people, same idea. They bought a couple of these, bought their play sets. You know, a couple of people still have some. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the max rarity, and some people very much value that. If you value max rarity, click that link in the YouTube video description to shop TCGPlayer and help support the channel with singles you would already be buying. It helps me out a lot. And if you're buying the max rarities, you know, it's just music to my ears. But yeah, Sheep Soap could be a new card. Like, they're already playing Ice Age. Maybe it's like, you know, 4 Ice Age, 4 whatever, that Tempest Kick, and then 4 Sheep Soap. Maybe that becomes the vibe, especially with Reiju and you need to be able to do answers. We'll see, but yeah, just something I wanted to keep my eyes on, be able to say, you know, I mentioned this video. But as always, if you found this content of value, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. Over 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.